Good morning, evening, early afternoon. Afternoon for me. All right. So I've been busy. So I think. Okay, let's turn the fog off. Fog. 0. Sorry, janky temporary train going by. But I think, yeah, I'd fly on because I wanted to take some screenshots. So just might as well use it and then I'll turn it off probably. But I got a lot of the machines placed down. We got all of the assemblers. Try to get it as neatly, but still kind of like put a gap in between the different recipes, essentially. So split it up as much as I could, but I ran out of space, so I actually had to extend. This floor is going to come out like by 2 like foundations, so gonna have to figure out a way to make that interesting. But just gives me more not boxish dimensions to work with. So anytime that happens, I'm really not mad. It'll make the designing a little bit more interesting. I think that's fun. So I realized a couple things. One was that for this whole project, I'm really going to want Mark III miners. So I had already built the train station that is going to go, it goes out there and grabs the nitrogen gas. So I already had this line built, so I just kind of built a temporary train station right here to pipe the gas up so that I could then route some heavy modular frames into a blender, and then I just dropped off some aluminum casings instead of making a ridiculous belt over here, since I really just need enough for, yeah, I just turned this on not too long ago. So I just need enough to do the unlocks and then be able to make a handful of those Mark III miners. So it will get a more permanent spot once we build the next layer, which will be the manufacturers and blenders. So that'll be the top floor. So we'll have to do another logistics layer and then the top floor. So we'll probably be like up to here's the top, which I'm actually pretty happy with. I think that's gonna be a good size for a factory that makes almost everything. So I'm real happy with it. This is all gonna get interesting, I think. The amount of trains and whatnot that I need. But anyways, so for today, I was thinking of taking a break from doing more belt work, because that's really what I have to do, is more belt work there and then belt work there and then build that top layer. So building the top layer actually wouldn't be a bad idea. But I also kind of want to come out here and start building the replacement to that plastic and rubber factory. So actually, let's just head over. Let me see. I'm right here. So let's just dump off whatever spare stuff. Kind of getting rid of half stacks and whatnot, just to clear up a little bit more inventory. Drop off my radio control unit, since still don't have like a permanent fix for that quite yet. So just want to get, I want to waste, well, it's not really wasting, but hey Tesla, how you doing today? Just sinking things to clear out my inventory. So I can grab a whole bunch of concrete. Alright, and oh, actually, what I was gonna do first, I can get rid of all these biomass. Who knows? We just wait till we turn it all on, and if it works, it works. Alright, so I finally got plenty of power, so I think I can get rid of all of these. Might as well try to start clearing up and deleting things that I don't need. So let's... Oh, I guess I don't... Well... I guess we'll just get rid of this stuff. I could leave the biomass production up for now. Alright, so... let's just drop off... Wow, that's a lot. Oh no, too close. Well, that is where I was going, so... Alright, let's just drop off... Alright, let's just drop off probably all of this, actually. I don't need any of it. Alright. And you know what? We're just going to... Ooh. Oh, a little stutter there. Just to keep things as vanilla as I can. I'll turn off fly mode. Haha. Oh, aluminum. That is a great question. So, oh, that's right. I kind of ran out of room there. So let me turn this down a touch. I don't know if that's too loud or not, but there we go. Okay, so let me... Alright, let me just get rid of this stack. Alright, so... I was going to show you, but yeah, so I used the water from the last step and recycled it back into the first step. I hate doing that, to be honest. I just have the hardest time getting it to work reliably. It seems like once you finally get it, it works. Like once you can get a system that works. I thought what I had over there was a good system, but it's not. It keeps overflowing, and I don't know. There's a better way to do it, but so what I'm gonna do, because the setup that I have is more or less temporary, like at almost everything I've done, and my plan is to basically just gather up all of the bauxite from like the whole red forest, red bamboo jungle or whatever it's called up here, and just make a giant aluminum processing that's just going to take care of all of it. And with that I plan on just using all of the I'm just going to feed it all the water it needs, and then with all of the byproduct, I'm actually just going to have those feed another set of refineries, just to do a completely different thing. I'll probably do wet concrete because you need a whole bunch of concrete to do like a large amount of the like heavy modular frames. And so that's probably what I'll do. The other thing I was thinking of is using all that water and using it with the which one am I thinking of? The quartz, the pure quartz recipe, just to make a ton of quartz crystal, and then using all of that for like a giant crystal oscillator factory. So that's what I prefer to do, is not recycle it, because I just have a really hard time getting it to balance out and not like shut itself off when it like fills up or something. So my preferred method is definitely just to use the byproduct for just something else. So a big blank area. I do want this to be on the global grid. I'm gonna run over. Oh, it didn't throw me off. That's cool. So is that the right height? Is it like 1 meter off? It is, right? It's just... Is that... Okay. So... Oh, wait. Okay, so now... That's what I want to work off of. Just to make it easy, so I don't have to change elevations for my train lines. Now the question is, what do I want to make this entire thing out of? Ooh, do I want to just... Oh, could I do that? Actually, that's probably the best idea. If there's enough space... Oh, wait a second. I wanted to snap the... Oh, no. Wrong menu. Can I get back? Ah! Jetpack, don't fail me. All right. So, what if... Will it not let me snap the bottom or the top? No, it'll only let me snap like the top to it. Okay. So, alright, I can still work with that though. Okay, so vertical. There we go. So I think it would be off of that then. Well, let's see. Good old snap. Oh. One more. That was close. Not quite though. All right. Okay, so now we're at the right height. Yes. Yes. Perfect. I love trains. It really depends on how you want to set them up. So this is how I like to do it, just because I don't know. I'm fine with it not having a solid foundation underneath the entire thing and just kind of having these posts. So it makes it easy when they're just kind of floating in the air and you can just kind of build wherever you want. They do run just fine along the ground. Now, it just depends on like how much clipping and how much effort you're willing to put into like laying the track on the ground itself. Because like sometimes, well, actually that ended up fine, but like you'll clip into the ground or whatnot in certain places, but you know, some people really don't care. I think it's a pain running them on the ground, and I just think it's cleaner of a look doing it this way, but really it's totally up to you. You can make it as involved as you want, and like one of my first playthroughs, what I did was I made a blueprint for like a road for vehicles to drive on, and then I made like a thing out of like pillars that would like snap onto like both sides of the road basically, and then have like a piece going in between, and then I put like the train tracks above it. But it ended up just it was just a lot. Like it looked cool, but it just it's a lot. So this time I'm trying to just go for a much more simplistic, trying to make it as clean but as minimalistic, there we go, as I can, instead of adding lots and lots. But as far as building it, the nice thing is you can run lots of trains on one line. You'll have to add the signals, which because I'm mainly doing push-pull systems, so there's only one train on each line, so I don't need any signaling at all. But if you do have multiple trains, then you just add the signals. That way they don't run into each other. And the nice thing is you can transport a whole bunch of stuff on one train line, you know, especially if you're using multiple trains. Because they can each have multiple cars, and so you can carry a whole lot more, and it ends up being way more efficient as far as time and materials if you're going to transport a whole bunch of goods, especially if it's over a long distance. Like, granted, this is only transporting a tiny bit of gas, but I could have had it carry, you know, 2,000 iron ore, and, you know, the equivalent would have been having to do this same like track, but I would have had to make it solid, and then it would have been a total of what, 3-4, you know, Mark V conveyor belts that whole way. So a lot of the times trains can become much more cost and time efficient. I think I read on the wiki it's like if it's over 500 meters, which I forgot is how many. 62. So if it's over 62 foundations, the train track is actually more worth it. About the logistics of the trains. Oh, yeah. So that's how I'm doing it, just because I think it's I don't know what the best way to do it is, to be honest. The logistics of the trains, they work really well. The only thing that really can be like tricky or confusing is whenever you have intersections. I would say just look up, you know, there's some really good basic guides on YouTube that'll explain it a lot better than I can. But the general rule of thumb is if you have any sort of intersection, you need a path signal on the way in, and then right after the intersection, you need a block signal. So path in, block out. is kind of the rule of thumb. But that's I'm basically doing, you know, one train. So that line is just doing nitrogen and it's going in there. And then good old autosave. And then I'm going to have another train that's going, the next line over basically is going to come all the way out to here. This factory that I'm building is going to build all of my plastic, rubber, packaged fuel, packaged turbo fuel, and fabric, and send all of that back. So it's going to have one train, but it's going to have like 5 or 6 different items. So each train, what you can call it, station, is just going to have all of its own product. And then you just got to figure out like which is going to be the station, or which product's coming out of which station over there. But it's pretty easy to figure out. So I think I have done all of the milestone. I'm on tier 8 with the exception of I don't think I don't remember if I've turned in the No, I think I finally did turn in the one for the gas mask, or maybe I didn't. I don't even remember. But so I'm missing like the gas mask and the hazmat suit, which I need to do when I finally get to nuclear, which is, I think, the last milestone. So I have 1 or 2 left in tier 8 that I haven't unlocked, but I'm nowhere near ready to do nuclear. So I've unlocked all the ones that I need for a bit, but nuclear is probably going to be the next way I get lots of power when I run out of my 60,000 right now. Yeah, I think we're just going to go with a really weird shape building for this one. I've just got so many random things to make. Does it run into that? Oh, just barely. Maybe I'll delete it. Maybe I won't. Okay. But at this point, I like to make sure things are spread out so that if I don't have to, I don't want to cramp everything together. So I am currently producing 8 heavy modular frames. When I don't know if I've actually planned out how many I'm gonna do for the end game, to be honest. I don't even have it up. Yeah, I would say so. Like, for how many I want to like go into like my own like personal storage, I'm gonna be making, I think, like 10 a minute, which is like way more than you need to make. I really just want it to have a good amount for whenever I need it, and 2, just to sync it for the points, because once you unlock everything, then you gotta stock up just a ton to get all the fun statues. for the bragging rights. And I'm out of concrete. Cool. But yeah, eventually when I go to make like the factory that's going to make like what are the next one? The fused modular frames, and then the the screws. Yeah. Yeah, no, I highly recommend going and grabbing some alternate recipes, because the one that just doesn't use screws is definitely the way to go. So I think I can show you the recipe I use is the heavy encased frames. So just modular frames, the encased industrial beams, steel pipes, and concrete. So no screws required. Yeah, I don't use screws for... Oh, very cool. Which one are you using, the steel screws or the cast iron screws? Cast iron's nice because you get to cut making the rods out of the picture. But then yeah, I'm using the steeled frame, so I can just use steel pipes. Cast, yeah, cast is, it's honestly, it's such a good recipe. It just saves you so much space and just effort. Just machines. It's definitely the way to go. I don't even remember, how am I making the reinforced plates? Where are those even coming from? I don't even remember now. Oh, those are coming from down here. That's why, aren't they? Ah! This floor. What am I using? Ah, yeah. And then stitched iron, and then I'm using the iron wire so that I can make the heavy modular frames with only iron and coal. Just, oh, and limestone, I guess. Can't forget about the concrete, which is what I need. Yeah, it's something that just never really changes, I feel, in the game, where in the beginning you're slow without your blade runners and you have to just run around and everything's just spread out because it has to be. And then later on you just have so much stuff and everything is so big that it takes up tons of space. And where did I put things? Yeah, even with things relatively in a nice little row, I never bothered to actually label any of these bins, so I forget. So usually what I'll do when I have like half stacks, I'll get my inventory full and then I'll just run over and I'll just hit take all on everything so that it tops off any of the ones that I'm short on, and I can just not pay attention. Just to get all topped off. Alright, even though really I just need concrete. No, autosave. Starting to take just that little bit longer now. All right, so back to the concrete lane. Yeah, that clips into that. All right, we'll just keep laying more out this way. I've got so much space out this way. And I know I'm going to need to use a bunch of it. I never really looked. Did that put this layer in the water? Oh, it's just above it. Oh, that's kind of weird. Probably just they're just the 4 meter. So I just have it as a, let me see if I can, I have it on my hopper. Here we go. So it's a 4x4 and then a gap of 3 of them. So 12 meters is the space in between, and then another 4. So that way I can run all the pipes and belts and everything down here, and then just have just the machines up here. 4s, so really the only reason I like to use 4s is because if you want to use, if you're okay with using ramps every once in a while, you can use the 2 meters, but the stairs are 4 meters in height. So if I start using like 1 meters in places, then there's a good chance that the stairs just don't line up anymore, and you just get these weird gaps, or you have to clip the stairs into it. And so really it's just for simplicity's sake, and yeah, that's really the only reason, just to keep it simple. And I can use full walls instead of the 1 meters more often. Oh wow, that was actually on the grid. Holy cow. That is really surprising. Oh, I guess it's not the way I built this. Now I'm remembering. Cool. So that's gonna come out to here. So train goes here, and then another train goes there. So this one might be pointless. It's okay. Question is, how long did I make the train? I don't really remember. I think it's got to be, it's gonna be at least 4. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 would be okay. So you get 6 stations out to there. Which I really don't think it'll need to be that long. And I still have just enough room for a station this way. I think. Heck yeah. I wonder how that line is gonna run. Can it fit under the arch too? So if I added just a line right next to it. Does the train clip? No, we're good. Heck yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that makes it easy. Do I even have... Oh, I forgot. I actually have a hover pack. Since rail lines carry electricity, you can just use a hover pack around them. It's pretty great. Okay, so we're just gonna mirror this whole thing, and then I'll fix the supports. Oh, this is cool. I wasn't really sure if a second train line would still fit under the arch. I'm glad it does. Oh, why won't it? Too far? Oh, I cheated and I didn't realize. Heck yeah. See, so currently I am making 8 heavy modular frames and I don't think I'm making very many computers. I probably have like 1 machine making them, so like 2, 2.5. Not a ton. You need a bunch like right at first, and then you really don't need a ton. A lot of the later game items, if you can just make enough, then while you're busy working on the next project, you come back and everything's full. So you definitely don't need crazy amounts of either one of them. Yes. Yeah, you'll definitely need them. But something like 5 a minute is honestly quite quite a bit for both of them. You'll end up getting to the point where you're definitely not going to use that many. But they're also worth a lot of awesome shot points. So there's always that. I forgot how slow the hover pack is. Alright, so let's center. But the hover pack is definitely handy, especially once you start working on the railroads. Makes being able to do the supports, if you're gonna go this route, so much easier. Well, that's just gonna clip through that, and that's okay. Cool. So let's grab the big frame. I just like the frame pillars just because you can see through them. And I don't know. They seem they fit to me with railroads. Yes, highly recommend getting the hover pack. It's so nice. The only thing is sometimes I feel like it's not a trap, but like I'll get way too used to using it because it's just so convenient to just fly everywhere. It really is. It's amazing. But it's really slow. So even just, you know, moving like this is way faster than using the hover pack because once I turn it on, it's not quite as quick. So doing the crouch jump, especially with the jetpack, is still a much quicker way to like move around. But whew, the hover pack is amazing for when you're actually building. All right. So now I don't think this has enough train stations. All right, so plastic, rubber, fabric, package fuel, package turbo fuel. And now I'm out of range. The one thing you will learn is the range on the hover pack is depressingly low in my opinion. Oh, cool. I'll just let it make its own turns. Perfect. And there. And now my train will dock. Except for, I believe the default is to load. So that means wherever you go to unload, you need to make sure that you switch them all over. Or else you will be wondering why the train is just sitting or running around and never dropping anything off. And that would be why. Alright, so this is home oil goods. I think I'm making just about every single oil good. So this train, the track that I just added, this one right here is going out to the new foundations that I'm building. And it's only going to have one train, but each car on it is actually going to be something different. So like this is only doing nitrogen gas, and that's all I'm ever going to use this lane for. This one is going to bring back my... Oh wait, now I'm just thinking that's actually still not even long enough. So yeah, I'm making this train super complicated. It's gonna have plastic, rubber, packaged fuel, packaged turbo fuel, fabric, and it's also going to take the sulfur out there, which I kind of forgot about. So I need to delete this, and I actually need to add one more. And this one, yes, that one will be to load. Will it still? Yes, it still makes it. Oh, I'm happy. I was worried. Cool. Ooh. Will it reach? Nope. Oh, I'm totally not going to make it. The hover pack's going to cut out, and it's too slow. Alright, back to the jetpack. Okay, so if it comes in here, it'll just have to wiggle around, I guess. Oh, this is going to look weird, isn't it? I think I'm just going to have to add a little bit more to this side. Let's see how far out. So hybrid tubes are amazing. I do love hybrid tubes. What you can do, and the only reason I didn't is I didn't actually connect that train station to power. But like, say I did want to travel out to that one, assuming, since I use push-pull trains, yeah, Hypertubes is probably just a better idea because I can't really risk doing this. Unless I know where the train is. But since I knew that train just docked there, if I needed to go out this way, I could just build a train, and their top speed is much faster. I think it's 120. Much faster than you'll be able to run, and it should be faster than a Hypertube. But they have to be powered, because if I try to put that on this track, I don't think this one has power. Yeah, no power, so I can't do it on that one unless I hook it up. But Hypertubes are definitely, I love them. And depending on how you're building your system, it's really not too hard to, you know, run them either right alongside or underneath or something like that. And the other benefit of doing what you're talking about is if you do run a Hypertube kind of like the same distance along the tracks, then you're basically, well, you're probably going to take power with you, which means you can easily branch off power wherever. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, totally. I will say that is one benefit if you decide to go the, like, a very common thing will be to make like a huge loop around the entire world with a train track. Because like this corridor right here is like, that's what it's meant for, basically, is like every single person ends up building a train, I swear, down this valley. So if you do something like that, then you can build a train, and then just if you haven't used trains too much, I'll show you. It's really nice. So you build a train, you jump in it, and then you edit the timetable. You just pick whichever one, save changes, turn on, and then it'll just kind of go. And then uh-oh. Oh, please stop before I run into the train. No, this is a horrible idea. I got plenty of time. So that's another option, but it really only works if you have a big, like, circular route where you're using train signals, because then if you set the destination, it'll obey all the traffic laws essentially, so that you won't run into another train. But yeah, being able to just jump in the Hypertube and you've got a couple minutes and just go grab a drink or something is another fantastic option that I have definitely utilized. I've even done it with trains when the trains start getting really long. All right, so I think that's as far over as I want to go. Try not to clip into it. Okay, so if I center it on this one. Just looks kind of funny having like a T intersection there. I'm also trying to think how in the world I want to do this. I actually think I want to go over one more. That's probably not far enough. So I think I'll have them face the inside. Okay, so I need plastic, rubber, fabric, package fuel. Oh man. So not even close. All right, well, let me go grab. What did I run out of? Cable. Yeah, you know, I really need a better way out there. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm missing cable. Oh no. And I jumped way too early. I'm not gonna make it. Oh no. Yep. It's a good thing I turned everything onto passive. You know, did I ever? I think I actually need to grab, even though I have the alternate recipes auto unlock, I think I need to grab these. Oh, can I just, where's the, I don't have cable. I knew I didn't have cable. Alright, fine. Let's just get up there. Having, I think a lot of people call it like a project train or something like that, where, yeah, you just load up tons of all of the basic building supplies. It's a great way to do it. I need more cable. Why did I only grab that much? There we go. Grab plenty. The point that I'm going to try to get to is so that I don't need a train. My plan is to build a good amount of batteries and then basically have all of my items hooked up to more or less idle drone ports. All right, we're just going to set this out there. This way I can zip line, which should be way faster, I think. I should set down. So yeah, that's part of the plan with this giant behemoth is all of the items, instead of going to essential storage, are actually going to go to drone ports. And then I can just set down a drone port and just set this like real close. Oh, so maybe it's gonna be a little bit taller. And then I can just call any item I want to me, basically, is my plan. Cool. All right. Well, now I can get back and forth a little bit easier. All right. So this is obviously way too short. Can this even make that? Yeah, I didn't think so. So if I delete that, can I make that one? Oh, I definitely missed. All right, so there we go. Okay, So let's delete that. And how far out? Wrong side. Okay, so I need 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4, 5, and I think I need 6 total. Let's see, plastic, rubber, fabric, then both fuels, and then bringing the sulfur out. So yeah, okay. So what I want to do is, I don't have the stuff to make drones. Drones are really interesting in the way that they work. So if I have a drone port, let me just lock it in place. So if I have a drone port and I have items being fed into it, and then I just have a drone placed on here, because you can only place drones on drone ports. To do anything with it, you have to set up another drone port somewhere else, right? So my plan is to basically have every single different item that I need being fed into its own individual drone port. So I'm going to have like 40 drone ports sticking off of all the different sides of that factory. And then and they're all just going to have just a drone sitting there waiting, so that when I'm out building a new project, I can just slap down my own drone port, out here. And then the way the drone menus work is it's kind of like the train stations, where you kind of like almost have a train station, but instead it will just list like all of the different drone ports that are available for this one to hook up to, right? So when I place a new one, I can just select, home drone port, iron plates. And then immediately that drone that's just sitting on the iron plates will take off, come over, and it'll drop off iron plates. And then it'll go back. And it'll try to keep going for as long as I have it set like that. But if I only need one load of iron plates, then as soon as it's in transit, I just tell it that it doesn't have a station to go to anymore, and then it'll go back to being idle. And then I can just queue up, as many drones as I want, and then they'll just come out and fly and drop off whatever items I need. And it's I definitely stole it from somebody else, and I wish I could remember, but it was a long time ago, and I always wanted to build one. It's a little Amazon drone delivery system. It's definitely takes a bit to set up, but it's pretty rad. Yeah, if you queue up like 6 things, then all of the drones end up taking off at more or less the same time, and then they'll show up at pretty much the same time, but only one can land at a time, and it takes like a full minute. So like drones aren't great for like consistent movement of items unless the throughput is really low. So like if you're only going to be transferring, less than 100 a minute of something, drones will probably be fine. But if you wanted to transfer, the 780 a minute out of a miner, it's not a good way to use drones, in my opinion. You're just going to have to use a lot of them. So they have some great uses, but they're definitely not like trains are pretty much replaced like the vehicles, in my opinion. Like they're just a better, more reliable option, I think. But drones are definitely not like a replacement. Oh, keep placing it the wrong way. Drones are definitely not a replacement for trains. They're just a different form. You can try. they pretty much always just like shoot you off when they go twice as fast as trains, I believe, or close to it. They go like 220 or 240, and so they'll do this like vertical takeoff thing, and then they kind of like shoot off where they're going, and when they do that transition, I think you usually get flung off. So I think I need 2 more of those, which I forgot about. So yeah, I'm short. Just motors. Okay, well, let's set up this at least. So okay, so one of these is gonna have to offload the sulfur. I think I'm gonna have it be the very last. So it'll have to be the first one over there. So this one is gonna be set to unload. The rest of them are gonna be set to load. And you know what? Just so I don't forget, that one's yellow. That one's gonna have sulfur. And then the rest of them are actually, I should just line up all those. So these are all gonna be inputs. So another thing to keep in mind now that you're getting close to trains, a good habit, in my opinion, to get used to is using both inputs or outputs. So the reason for it, if you didn't know, is whenever a train docks with the train station, it pauses all of the belts that come in or out of it. So even though the max like throughput would be 2 times whatever belt you're using, right? You don't want to try to actually transport that many goods per train car, because it'll get paused for 30 seconds at each dock or loading and unloading. So you want to use both inputs and use like a storage container as like a buffer, because what's going to happen is, so down here I'm going to put storage containers, and then this way whenever the train does come, anything that's in the storage container going out is still going to run, but this right here is going to get paused. So I use both of them so that you can make up the like the time loss that you have when it's docked. I probably could have said that in a way better way, but either way, you want to use a storage container as a buffer and utilize both of the inputs or outputs for the loading or unloading with trains. It'll just give you the best results. So there we go. So these need to face this way. autosave. All right. So did I? Oh, I forgot these belts. One more. Cool. Okay, so that one's all set up. This one, I need more motors. You know, let's just go get those before I forget to set this up. Now that I have this cool... Oh, I missed. Come on. There we go. The power towers that are going to be coming for you in update 8 are another... Oh, bummer. No, let me go back. Catch up. Oh, there we go. I get that angle's just too sharp, which I guess I'm not too surprised that it's kind of sharp. But now you have the ability to right click with the zip line and you just stay like snapped onto it. So I don't have to like hold down the left mouse the entire time. You can just kind of like lock on and just ride the zip line. So it's another like, it's much more useful than it used to be, I think. Like I always liked the zip line, but it's that was a big change, especially with the power towers. And being able to just kind of like ride underneath them. It's pretty great. So this angle's probably too sharp. So we'll just do that. All right, so 2 more. There's a chance that I would need to extend it if this train is too long, but I'm really sure that I think 4 will be plenty. So these are all need to be set to unload. So these are all going to, this train coming from way out there is actually going to bring me all of the polymer resin from my huge oil factory that I built that's doing all power. So right now it's all being sunk so that the power stays on. But eventually, what am I doing? Eventually my plan was to bring it somewhere and help it jumpstart my plastic and rubber. So since I need much more plastic, wait, what am I doing? I totally set all of these in the wrong spot. Yeah, these are all getting unloaded. I knew that. That's what I just set all the trains for. Okay, so now let's get the lifts in place. All right, and let's get some more industrial containers going. Alright. Let's lock it in place and... Oh, too far. I think right there should be good. Let's see. Perfect. Always running out of something. Okay, so these trains have already taken up more space than I was anticipating. So let's expand this a little bit more. And who knows, maybe I'll be able to delete some because it's way too big. It's pretty rarely the case. I almost always need to add more. It's never quite big enough. Like, oh, this looks like plenty of space. Nah. Never quite big enough. Whoops. Yeah, I'm gonna guess this is still... Alright, well, at least now I'm out of two things. What's the... What? Oh, that's because I've never connected them. Duh. I was wondering. The other stations should show up. Let's take a look. Okay, so now... Cool. That is pretty far, but... hoping it can do it. I guess I could test it, couldn't I? Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Oh, but I need more steel. Duh. Okay. So I do that. I grab more steel and concrete. And then I'm going to build 4 awesome sinks. And the really cool thing, there's a lot of cool things about trains. But one of the really cool things is that it will tell you, kind of like truck stations, forgot they have it, but it'll tell you your, like, the transfer rate. But for whatever reason, I feel like the truck stations, like, if you do certain things, they're just not the most reliable for the number. Train stations tend to be pretty accurate from what I've seen. Okay, so yeah, let's just top those off. And oh, I didn't notice I had an extra stack. From here I can probably, yeah, go hover back. All right, I don't need all that fuel. So I needed the pipes. Grab a few more beams, always useful. And concrete. Let's get to the right hotbar. And then the number does the right thing. Cool. So let's line up all these. And that one, all of a sudden, not quite as lined up. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Alright, so I just need some temporary space. Let's add 2 there. And 2 here. Really doesn't matter. How far will it stretch? Almost. Of course. Well, these should only have 300, so I can use Mark IV. Okay, so let's just temporarily grab all of these. Make it Mark II. Alright. And oh, of course it's on the other side. Alright, so let's peace out. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Did I set up a train already? Oh, they should actually tell me. No trains. Okay, cool. I'll have to worry about it running into each other. Alright, so 1 train, 4. And these are all doing resin, so gotta make them blue. Which might as well make the whole train station. Okay, so if we edit the timetable, resin out, resin in, save changes, turn on. And I'm just gonna enjoy this train ride. I'm pretty happy with the way that power plant turned out. needs more white because it's doing nitrogen. Can I make... What if I just make all the borders? Oh, but these won't change colors unless I add a wall, huh? I have to add the fix-it wall thing. Oh, those are grip metal. What if I made these fix-it instead? Guess I should change the default color, fix it first. I wouldn't have to go around and do this twice. That would have been the smart thing. Oh, but then I only miscolored in the lines once here, so that's not bad. Okay, so colors, that's white. Oh, cool. It's all gonna be white. Alright, well, at least now I don't have to color the lines. Alright, well, at least I'm hoping this will satisfy my need for it to be even more color coordinated. I think I got them all. Alright, I think that helps. I just don't want to add walls. I don't have to. It's just a train station. So I'm not going to. Okay, so with that train running and just everything being... I should have jumped on it. Sunk. This is going to be faster. That way I can see if that's enough train stations or if I need to add 2 more and have so much fun doing the boat work on the other end. So I'm really hoping that this is enough to get the throughput high enough. I think it will be. I really don't think. It's gonna have any problem, but we'll see. It needs to run kind of on its own for a bit. Okay, so I made this weird. All right. I mean, I guess if I wanted to keep things more orderly, I could move the train station. And have it be more parallel and just have the track curve in. Question is how much does it bother me? The only bummer is then I would have to push the train. The train would have to get pushed back quite a bit to be able to make that turn. So space-wise, this is the much better option, I think. So I must have made some of these Mark 1. Yeah, they look way too slow. Okay, we'll just do 4 then. That'll be enough. There we go. So the question is, does this bother me? A little bit. I wish it was a little bit more symmetrical. But I think I'm gonna leave it. We're going with a little bit more efficiency this go around. So sometimes it's odd placement. All right, let's look at this spreadsheet. So of course I have a spreadsheet. It's not the right window. All right. Oh, but actually, I need another train station in here, and it needs a way to get out. Oh, where in the world am I going to put that one? Huh. So it wouldn't really make sense to put it, even if I straighten that one this way, it would be weird to put it in between because then it doesn't really have anywhere to go. I don't actually know where the other train is going to send plastic to the battery factory. I don't actually know where I'm going to be making batteries. But I figure train is going to be the easiest way to get 1,600 plastic out of here. So I'm thinking we're just going to have to run a line down here and we're just going to fill this space in. Even though it's not going to have the floor. Sorry, tree. So, oh, that's right. I just kind of added this stuff on, didn't I? Oh. Okay. Where is the blueprint edge? Cool. So I guess all right. So I think for freight platforms is... Should be plenty, right? Wait, how much do I need? So this is going to be taking 1,600 plastic. So... yeah, 400 in each one. Oh, that's fine, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that would bring it. Okay, so if I want, so now that I got 2 going this way, now I might as well just fix it so all of them are facing this way. And it's just easier, just rip the band-aid off. Just fix it all now before I add on way too much. Okay, so chances are I'm not going to have an accurate picture of, yeah, 575. That's higher than what each one of these is actually getting, so it's still kind of dealing with all of the excess. So the bummer is I've got to delete it to fix it, I think. And we're just gonna rip that band-aid off there. Oh boy, I totally forgot, but that also shuts off all of these. Do I that reach? Alright, I need... yeah. More aluminum. Oh no. I forgot that I'm... Oh, come on. Thought I nailed that ladder. Perfect. Oh, I'm not going to catch it. Dang it. Oh, it is still bringing ingots. Okay, cool. I was worried that the water had backed up. Probably should go flush it, but it's running. So it's good enough. Besides the new main factory, aluminum's going to have to be the next kind of big project that I need to work on. Alright, so they still haven't emptied. Wait, what? Oh, did I oh man. Did I somehow reconnect this? No. How did this train end up here? What? Oh man. I thought I disconnected the power before it docked so that this wouldn't happen. I'm so confused. Why did you end up here? That's annoying. How much is in here? Oh wait, no, was it the lifts? Can juice this up. Actually, no, that's not gonna improve the speed at all. Well, this will. Okay. Oh my god, you have so much. Alright, so we are just going to... Oh. What? Okay, so... Yep, that makes sense. Alright, so let's get rid of a few. Oh, this isn't powered on. No. Oh, come on, it won't let me do that. Normal power lines are so short. It's so annoying. Alright, I just want to use the hover pack. Alright, so... How much space did I give myself in between these ones? 2. 2 full ones. So if we go... Let's lock in place. So right there, but I know it's going to have to be farther forward, but this will at least let me get the right spacing. So let's see what this looks like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think I could actually add. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I think if I do that, it should make like a perfect. Perfect right angle in there. Perfect. I like it. All right, so 3, 4. But I forgot the train station. Okay, so now that's all set. Cool. So let's push the rest of them up because I like symmetry. So let's the hover pack sucks. I wish it could run off batteries. If it could run off batteries, I think I would absolutely love it. But the range is just awful. All right, so let's see. 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's delete the last 2. Alright, so and then these ones need to get moved to this side. So this one's gonna unload. The rest of them are gonna load. No, wait. Yeah. Go with yellow again, and let's fix some of this. Is that lined up? Rock on. Ooh, yeah, if this isn't enough, then I gotta push it forward, which is gonna make me want to push the rest of them forward. Ooh. I don't really want to push them farther forward if I don't have to. Darn. Should I just give myself the extra 2? Probably should. I should just do it. Gives me the most wiggle room. And you know what? I've got tons of space. Alright, so now I could expand this to 6 if I need to. But hopefully this is gonna work. Wow, I can't type. I didn't hit enter. Okay. So let's just do the same thing. 1, 2. Train station facing the correct way. Alright, so let's just delete the last 2 again. Change this one to unload, make it yellow. And delete some more. All in all, it'll be for the best, because having more space just usually means it just looks better, in my opinion. It's not as cramped as I was trying to make it, and I can delete some more of this that is too close or something. I don't know where this train is going. So yeah, these are all going to be set to load. These ones are all load. These ones all need to be unload. Just don't think there's power, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Which is fine because the last bits of resin are still being sunk. All right, so let's do I want them facing this way? Let's see. This is the resin, right? Yeah. No, actually, let's face them out this way. Ooh, might have been close. Oh man, still not even. Oh, yep, I was so far off. Okay, so is that too close? Let's see. No, it's actually not. I'll take it. Oh, so you can actually get both of them if you get it just right. Oh, so that must be actually just ever so slightly clipped into it. It doesn't look like... That's so weird. Let's see. So, yeah, because it's actually, 1 meter, 1 meter over the line. Huh. Because I've always been just 1 meter farther than I needed to, and then it just doesn't quite line up. So interesting. Because that's awesome. That doesn't even look bad. Alright, so are these... Oh, all cleared. Perfect. Okay, so that means I can switch it to these new ones. You know what? Let's just... I still have cargo. Okay. Can I... Oh. So close. That's okay. For science... Oh. Whatever. The more I hate it, quicker I'll delete it. I hope. Oh, these all need 2. What a bummer. Ah. Can I go? Nope. Doesn't work there. Okay. So now, let's get the... Yeah, to do that up here, I'd have to smash it into it more. And that I don't want to do. Okay. So, I gotta do it from the actual station, huh? Okay, so now we can... All I need to do is give it power. That's right. Alright, so let's... And there it goes. Okay, cool. So I still want to run it just to see if the throughput is going to be enough, which I really think it will be, but I just want to make sure. If it's not, then I just add 2 more and I go split that up into a 3rd station on each side. It's not what I really want to do, but I've given myself enough space, so it's not going to be absolutely awful to do. So I'm happy with it. Moved it so far forward, I need to reduce so many of these. That's okay. Tearing it down and rebuilding it is almost the name of the game. Alright, so these are... What is this one doing? Oh, yeah. This will be plastic going out. Okay, so let's redo. Since we gotta redo pretty much all this anyways. Using my newfound knowledge. Alright, so this is... Wait. That's not right, is it? That shouldn't be... Wait, which train is this one? Oh, this one's yellow. Unload. Oh yeah, those were already there. That's why. Or at least that's what I'm gonna tell myself, because I don't remember. Okay, so now that's set up on the correct side. Alright. So this one needs to be flipped around. Alright, so now I'm not sure. Was it the line of the machine or the line of the... It's gotta be probably this, right? It's the line of the actual machine. Yeah. That's why I never do it. Okay, cool. Well. Now these are gonna be facing this way, right? That wasn't quite... Nice. Okay. So let's get these last ones set up. So these ones are plastic. I guess we'll just go with the symmetry. Let me see. Just need to go this way, right? Yeah. I needed to lock that in place. There we go. And then that should be good. Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, I at least got that set up. Are these cool? We're sinking. All right. How? We're sinking. Yeah, we're 35 coupons. Should be able to build a shop. 35 is enough to buy something cool. Alright, so there's that one left. That's one of the last things I need, to be completely honest. Awesome. I'm never going to use those stairs, but I guess we're just... Oh, that's right. Forgetting to get coated concrete. Perfect. Glad I got those. I haven't unlocked the cart. I can't believe I haven't unlocked the cart. Okay, so definitely we're getting that. And what are we at right now? We're at 23, so 26. Is that right on the money? Right on the money. Cool. We are not too far off from having everything unlocked, which is always nice to have. Okay. So that's going to continue to test the throughput so I can really get to building buildings now. Except for, I'm really not sure. What's this one? Oil goods. Whereas this one is just plastic. Should be 1,600 per minute. Just put that in the name, make it easy for me. Right? 1,600? Not going crazy, am I? Nope, that's how much I need. Perfect. Wait, did I? Okay, good. For some reason I thought this was... This overhangs, that's why. Alright. I'm not going crazy. But the unfortunate thing is the resin... Well, I've got a lot of space underneath, so... I think I'll be okay. Alright, so let's turn a fan on. It's warm. I'll be right back. Alright, so... How do we want to do this? Well, I guess it makes the most sense with plastic being the main thing on this side. And I need it for a little bit of that. I should just kind of anchor... work off this side since I can't go any farther that way. So let's do more of the plastic side of this factory. That's right. I'm gonna need to place a bunch. Oh, do I want to make... I really wish you could fit a little bit more in a blueprint with the refineries. I guess I can make them all 1 meter. One-meter floors. I guess it's probably just easiest using the blueprints. guess one of these is probably more like it. Or, oh, that's right. I didn't use. Yeah, no, those are definitely not. Like what I used. I guess these are closer. Oh, but even with these, I've got to use. Oh, yeah. Is that how I want to do this? You know what? No. You know, I think I'm just going to build them by hand instead of using blueprints. Just gonna go old school on it. So refineries. I need. Oh, I need a few, don't I? You know what? Let's add this up real quick. So I need 15 for that, 8 for that, 11 for that, and 8 even. Okay, so I need 42. Whoo, boy. Yeah, definitely don't have the material. Yeah, you know, 42 refineries just to do the plastic. Yeah, I think I need to lay down a few more foundations. Well, not gonna make it back, but yeah, we're still gonna need to use more. I should probably let this autosave and then leave some stuff. Okay, so let's leave some full stacks of stuff that I will probably need. And then I'll just have it here. And it gives me some more space to grab more stuff. Okay, so that's right. That's just for, although the rubber side of things actually uses quite a bit less. It's only going to be using half the amount of crude oil, so that whole setup's going to be way smaller. Or, you know, like half the size. Alright. Let's top that off. Got enough of those. Ooh, pipes. Just have some extras. I guess I don't need extras of these yet. Okay. Oh, actually, I did need these. All right, and then motors. Lots of motors. Copper sheets. Let's just fill up on copper sheets there. Let's also make sure top off on iron rods and iron plates because you need it for just about everything. And I'll top off the reinforced iron plates real quick. Oh, and if I could get up here, figure might as well just top off the aluminum sheets. Ooh, if this hasn't filled up, that means I missed the train again. I need to go flush that. But at the same time, I don't really need to. It's got plenty of storage. All right. What are we looking at? Okay, 317. So 300 is what it's supposed to be. So hopefully I mean, there's no way it's going to stay above 300 because they're just not getting that much. But although, let's double check my numbers here. Yeah, okay. So 1200. So 1200 divided by the 4 stations should be 300 each. Cool. So it's getting close. So hopefully it doesn't fall below 300, but it stays like right there. Okay. So I think I want to have a gap of, I don't know, let's just do asphalt again. Oh, what? Why did... Huh. It's so... I think that's just the way it had to trade 2. It cost 2, and then it gave me back the 2. Or... I think... Cause, yeah, it's not actually costing me anything. That's funny. But... whatever. Okay, so... oh, that's just 3. Let's make it 4, like I have over there. Alright, I'll just do that for now. Don't know if I'll keep it, those materials, so... Alright, well, if got that, then so probably setting them up like this. I could line it up with the tracks. That'd be kind of fun. And that would give almost the 4 I'd only give 3 actually. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Let's see, did I? Oh, cool. Got it right on the line. Okay, so let's just spam these down. How many do I need for this recipe? I need 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. And delete that one. So, since we're working backwards, the last one is recycled plastic. Let's get power shards in there. And just run across this top, spamming Control V. And I should hit all of them. Cool. Unless I... Nope, didn't run out. So, I think we're good. Perfect. Cool. So, I think I might actually try to enclose this one. Alright, so these will all have just plastic out. Let's see, which is 150, so Mark 3. These all have both solid and liquid inputs. So I'll probably just get all of the floor holes in first. What am I trying to do? Alright. And I think it's gotta be there, right? I don't think I can. Oh. For some reason I thought that would be too close. Cool. Well, that actually wasn't quite right, but okay, now it's right. But let's get the color for the pipes. So these are all going to be fuel. So I think I need to use Mark II. Yeah. Nice. And then they input 75 rubber. So, oops. Mark II for the input. Cool. So the very last step is all done. So let's see. The question is, do I want to just keep making rows for the different recipes going this way? Is that... So it's gonna make the building kind of long, but I think it would make the most sense. And it'd probably look the coolest. And if I want to make these like their own kind of like rooms or whatever, then it would make sense to actually, I don't even know. I guess that's kind of close if I want to make it its own room. Well, we got enough room out here. I don't know. Okay, we'll just give it... If I give it at least 2. So... What? Oh. There we go. Oh, that's right. I centered it on the middle of the tile. I was wondering why it just didn't look right. Okay. So that would basically give like a weird 3. Okay, yeah, because it's like right inside the line. So yeah, you'd have 3, but it would feel weird to put a wall right there. So do I want just a singular hallway? That does seem a little small. So if I moved it all the way over, then I could make it a wall, and a 2 wide walkway. Yeah. I think this building is going to get really wide. Okay, so what do we got here? The next step should be recycled rubber. Yeah, so I need 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Much shorter. This is the longest actually that it's gonna be, so yeah, this is all extra. And it's gonna go Instead, really far in this direction. Like, way farther, I'm sure. But let's not use up all the concrete. But that's okay. I would actually rather stretch this way, because then it's a cooler backdrop for the train than it just extending out into the ocean. That's what I'll do if I need to use up all the rest of this oil for power. Alright, so let's grab this last one, just so I have concrete for floor holes and all that stuff. Alright, let's... So this is gonna have to go way farther. Oh yeah, but I won't actually need... Like, I'll want this as the path to go to, like, all the different rooms. But, like, this? That's... All this is pointless, actually. Because there's no train there. Yeah, I mean, even... Just delete it all. Why not? Oh, maybe not that one. Well, it really depends on how I want to do it, but I mean, yeah, I guess it kind of depends on how much space I want to give myself for any of these decorations. It's really funny just having them like float out there. All right, let's see what. So we're just barely dropping now. So 309, 304, 306, 300 even. All right, so I don't see why it would drop below. But really the way to tell now that it is up and running is when the train comes back, I'll look. And as long as none of the freight cars are full, since the system should be like all flushed out, and then there shouldn't be like tons of excess giving me higher numbers. Because it obviously can clear through. I just want to make sure, yeah, as long as none of them are full, that means that this is good to go, I think. Should be great, because then I can just delete this. So I'm just going to wait for this train. Oh, and the autosave. Perfect. Okay, so 1800, 18. So I'm pretty sure, wait. Oh yeah, okay, so 1800 isn't even close. Because they can actually hold, I think it's 32 slots. Okay, yeah, so it can hold 6,400, so. Cool. So that means I can... Oh, yeah, maybe I do want one more layer, since that's how I set up the containers. That would be... I would have to completely reroute all that. I don't want to, so we'll give myself that much space to work with, which is a lot. Alright, so these are just going to pile up, and the sinks at the power station will kick in when it gets backed up enough to do that. But this proved its point, so I don't need to keep this ugliness here. Sometimes you just gotta oh man, this is the worst. It's just out floating there. Where'd the other one go? There it is. Oh, come on. Really have too much stuff? I mean, I guess it makes sense. Let's get rid of. Alright, and temporariness is actually gone pretty quickly for once. That's nice. Oh yeah, plus I have the other stuff that I could always put in the back. Or I could just keep making fun rows. I kind of like the fun rows. Alright, so after this I need a nice long row for all the resin, because this is actually where most of the resin is going, is towards the plastic plant, because plastic is just awful. It's actually not. I kind of like doing these projects. Okay, so does that, how much space did I give myself? 1, 2, 4. And 1, 2, 3. So I need to go over 1 foundation. And then that should be the same. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Okay. And then how many? 11? 11. Ooh. Oh. I wasn't supposed to go there. Did I place enough? Nope. Because one of them went to the wrong side. Just like that. Okay, so now got that row in. And then it's yes, refineries. Oh, and blenders. I could actually use, I could probably use my recipes from the other project, because that's gonna be like exactly the same. Oh, that's right. I didn't bring the stuff for blenders, did I? Nope. Sure didn't. Which I think I might as well just build anyways. But the other one might actually be useful though. Oh, but it's got the, oh no it doesn't. Oh, this is actually, Oh, except for I don't want the merger up top. It's going to go down below. Yeah, I'm just going to build my own. It's going to end up being really similar with the fluid buffer in there. But I should probably just go grab this stuff for the blenders because it's going to make spacing everything just easier. Okay, so I want so 8 blenders for this, and then it's going to be 4 blenders on the other side, so I might as well grab everything. And let's just drop off some more stuff. Oh, it did kick me off. Dang it. Oh, wait. I didn't want to go this way. Okay, so let's go shopping. Definitely need more heavy modular frames, more motors. Let's grab the random ones like radio control units and one of the few things you actually need the aluminum casings for, even though they get used in a bunch of other stuff. Okay, is the train here? I should probably... It's not. Let's see. Where is it on the map? Oh, I think it just got there. But I really need to flush the system. So I think I'm just going to wait for the train ride. Now, where's that crate? Oh, got a crate down there. And a crate over there. I think I looked for this one and could not find it. But alright, train's headed back. Won't be long. I'll be right back. Nice little slingshot. Ooh. And flush the whole thing. And all of a sudden, it comes back to life. And it hasn't even finished docking. And we'll take our free train ride back. Slammed into it pretty good. So let's see. Someone asked me, okay, so I need 50 fabric for that. I don't how much fabric do I even have? Do I have any? Did I use it all? Where did it all go? Do I not have any? Okay, so I have some mycelia left. Can I? What does it take to? It's probably not. Oh, it is in here. Oh, so you can make. Oh. So I've got biomass. How much is that gonna make me? Not enough. Okay, so I just go grab some more biomass. Oh, not very much biomass. Oh, okay then. Ah, I knew it. Can I go back? Go back. Alright. So I can make enough. Won't be able to make enough to also unlock the other things. Or actually, probably won't have enough to make a gas mask or do any of that. But I can at least turn it in and get it unlocked.
Milestone reached. Gas masks and filter parts.
Yay, gas masks. So, hazmat suits, which I need to make filters for. Yeah, just the last two. Which, no, don't have. Yeah, I'm not making any of that stuff yet. Oh, that's right. That's why I started making those. So I could turn this in for the Mark III miners. Oh, so I need. I guess I can just select that milestone so it's up. So let's take a look at my awful temporary setups. How are we looking right here? So this finished with the high-speed connectors. So let's just shoehorn this. I don't have that stuff. Oh man, I just made a bunch of high-speed connectors and I'm gonna use all of them to do this, aren't I? What a bummer. Okay, so just because I do want to make sure I get that thing unlocked, although then I need to make more supercomputers just to actually make the Mark III miners, don't I? So I should probably make more than 100. I should probably make like 200. Or at least 150. So oh, that's the wrong one. Wait. So just the oh, that's a nice alternate, but I don't have them and I don't want to make them. Not until I make the real factory. So let's just add the default. And how much would it take to make 200? Oh, it would cost 600. I don't think I made that many. Okay, well then we're going back to the high-speed connector, which I'm pretty sure was using this recipe. Okay, so let's I don't want to load it up with too much of the wrong stuff, so we need to make another like 500. I guess. I was really hoping I wasn't gonna have to do as much temporary stuff anymore. But I really want the Mark III miners for setting up this factory. So sometimes you just set up a little temporary setup, you know? Okay, so let's just go to organization, grab me some boxes, store all, store all, store all. Okay, so let's grab, cool. We'll just take all and then drop off. It's less clicking. Cool. And then circuit boards. Oh, what? There we go. So there's my 500. And then, ooh, that's actually a lot of silica. And I should grab fuel. Just in case. Oh yeah, that's more silica than I store, because I don't normally. I usually only use it for windows. So I'm gonna have to drop off more later. Cool. So it's on and running. Well. Oh well. So it needs to make more high-speed connectors before I can really make the supercomputers. But at least I have the fuse modular frames. Those are cooking over there. Oh, where am I going? I have like a completely empty inventory because I forgot to grab all my stuff. So, pretty positive I've got plenty of the fuse modular frames stocked up over there already. So it's just making more supercomputers, which shouldn't be take too long. That'll take a while to finish, and then I can do another silly little manual and feeding those supercomputers. But then that would give me enough for the unlock and to be able to make probably all the Mark III miners that I need to get it all up and running, and then I'll actually have a consistent supply of supercomputers and even turbo motors. But yes, that's what I was doing. So let's just clear this to-do list. And I probably need more concrete, but I actually think that I'm gonna call it a little bit early today. I should have grabbed way more concrete. I don't know what I was thinking. I think that was kind of the thing. Starting to not think. Lots of numbers makes my brain go burr. So made some pretty good progress though. I'm real happy with it. Got this started, so now work on replacing that whole setup that's over there, and it's gonna produce just like 10 times more stuff. Probably. I don't know. It's gonna make a lot more. And I'll be able to use the turbo fuel for my jetpack, which I actually haven't tried out yet, so I'm really excited about that because I thought of adding that like last minute, and I was like, oh, it wouldn't really be that hard to send sulfur and coal out here. The coal, I'm not sure exactly how I'm getting over here. I'm obviously not going to do it by train because that doesn't fit, and I don't want to. I could do a vehicle, actually, now that I think about it. That might be interesting. I could make a little path just for like a tractor because I think I need like 80 for what I have in mind. Which is, yeah, really, really low throughput to deal with. So, yeah, I might actually do a little, maybe I'll put a little truck station underneath and have the coal come in that way. That'd be cute. A little sugar cube. Kind of like that idea. So I might have to figure that out. That'll be fun. But yeah, knowing me, I'll probably work on this a little bit in a little off camera, but I'm sure I will be back either tomorrow or the day after to stream some more. So thank you everybody that came by. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you all next time.